For 27 years, one man disappeared behind prison walls while a nation burned outside them. When Nelson Mandela finally walked free, the world saw a symbol. What it never fully saw was the cost. Welcome to Mysterio Archives, unlocking the secrets of time. Today, we are uncovering Nelson Mandela, a fight for freedom shaped by sacrifice, compromise, and choices history still debates. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was born in 1918 in the village of Mvezo, located in South Africa's Eastern Cape. Raised within the Tembu royal lineage, he grew up during the early decades of institutional racial segregation that would later harden into apartheid. South Africa at the time was defined by colonial land dispossession, labor exploitation, and laws that denied political rights to the majority black population. Mandela studied law at the University of Fort Hare and later in Johannesburg, where he encountered urban inequality and political resistance. In the 1940s, he joined the African National Congress, or ANC, and became a founding member of its youth league. Influenced by global anti-colonial movements, Mandela initially supported non-violent resistance, organizing protests against discriminatory laws such as the pass system that restricted black movement. By the 1950s, apartheid intensified. Laws enforced racial separation in housing, education, and employment. Mandela and other activists were arrested repeatedly. Court records from the treason trial between 1956 and 1961 show how the state attempted to dismantle opposition through legal pressure rather than open warfare. Mandela was acquitted, but peaceful protest was increasingly met with state violence. The turning point came in 1960 after the Sharpeville massacre, where police killed 69 unarmed protesters. Following the banning of the ANC, Mandela helped form Umkhonto we Sizwe, an armed resistance wing focused on sabotage rather than civilian targets. This shift remains debated by historians, but documented statements show Mandela viewed it as a last resort against a government that had closed all legal avenues for change. In 1962, Mandela was arrested and later sentenced to life imprisonment during the Rivonia Trial. He was sent to Robben Island, a prison off the coast of Cape Town. Prison records and survivor testimony describe harsh conditions, forced labor, and isolation. For years, Mandela was allowed minimal contact with the outside world. His ideas, strategies, and inner doubts during this period remain partially unknown, preserved only in fragments of letters and later recollections. During the 1970s and 1980s, international pressure against apartheid grew. Economic sanctions, student movements, and diplomatic isolation weakened the South African state. Inside prison, Mandela engaged in secret negotiations with government officials. Declassified documents reveal these talks were cautious and deeply mistrusted on both sides. Mandela sought political transition without civil war, while the government aimed to maintain control. In 1990, after 27 years of imprisonment, Mandela was released. Footage of his walk through Cape Town shows a man calm but visibly aged. 4 years later, South Africa held its first multiracial elections. Mandela became president in 1994, overseeing the dismantling of apartheid laws and the creation of a new constitution. As president, Mandela promoted reconciliation through the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. While widely praised, the process remains controversial. Some victims felt justice was sacrificed for stability. Economic inequality persisted, and many structural problems inherited from apartheid were not resolved during his presidency. Mandela stepped down after one term and died in 2013. His public image became global and symbolic, but historians continue to examine the private compromises, strategic silences, and personal costs that shaped his choices. Mandela's life reminds us that freedom movements are not powered by purity, but by decisions made under impossible conditions. History remembers outcomes more easily than internal conflict. He became a symbol of freedom, but the man himself carried burdens history can only partially uncover. This is the Mysterio Archives, unlocking the secrets of time. The past shapes the world we live in today. If this story made you see history differently, like the video, share it with a fellow explorer of time, and join the conversation below. Subscribe to Mysterio Archives and help preserve the stories that built our world.